Welcome back to Physics of Gamification, the podcast where science meets behavior design. I'm your host, Hakan Özer, co-founder of MotivaCraft. In every episode, we explore one core gamification mechanic and connect it to a law of physics that explains why it actually works. Today's topic, the Doppler Effect, and how timing and speed change not what just users hear, but how they hear it. Let's dive in. Probably you have witnessed this phenomenon countless times before, but let me be more clear with a sample. Imagine you're on a bike, speeding down a quiet street. Up ahead, someone's playing a violin on the corner. You hear it light, clear, distant. But as you get closer, the pitch sharpens slightly, the sound gets brighter, it feels more intense. Then you pass. And just like that, it fades. Not just in volume, but in tone. Lower, softer, almost like the music gave up. Now here's the twist. The violinist never changed a thing. Same notes, same rhythm, same intensity. What changed actually was you. You were moving. And because of that motion, your perception of the sound shifted. That's the Doppler Effect. And in gamification, the same distortion happens. Not with music, obviously, but with feedbacks. Let's ground this in physics briefly. The Doppler Effect describes how waves, sound, light, whatever, gets compressed or stretched depending on the relative motion between source and observer. If you are moving toward a sound, you hear a higher pitch. If you are moving away, the pitch drops. It's not the sound that's changing, it's how the wave hits you in time and space. Now, let's bring that into our domain, gamification. In gamified systems, the user is the observer, and the feedback is the wave. That feedback may be the same, a notification, a badge, a command, a nudge, but depending on the user's momentum, whether they are accelerating through progress, stalling, or about to disengage, the same message feels very different. Let's say you have built a fantastic streak system. Your day 1 message says, "Welcome back." Your day 2 message says, "That's 2 in a row, keep it going." Your day 3 message is, "3 days strong, you are on fire." Now imagine 2 users. One is buzzing, logging in fast, crushing goals. The other is dragging, barely showing up, late, tired. The same day 3 message hits one as momentum, and the other as pressure, or worse, just noise. That's your Doppler distortion in action. Because their pace has shifted, the meaning of your feedback bends with it. Let me elaborate with a more nuanced example. A user has slowed down their engagement. Maybe work's busy, maybe they are bored, doesn't matter. They log in, and in your system, the message proudly says, "You are just 1 step away from your next badge." What do you think they hear? If they are in flow, awesome, almost there. If they are burned out, even more pressure. Same message, totally different perception. And worse, if your system doesn't notice their slowdown and keeps blasting high energy nudges, you don't pull them back in, you push them further away. In gamification, feedback is not just what you say, it's when you say it and how fast the user is moving when they hear it. Early feedback feels like guidance. Late feedback feels like judgment. Feedback given at the user's own speed, that feels like resonance. Just like the Doppler effect, where the wave doesn't change but the experience does, your system must learn to match feedback to user velocity. Alright, tactics time. 1. Use adaptive pacing. Let your system recognize when users are rushing, slowing, or stalling, and adjust feedback tone accordingly. 2. Offer feedback on demand. Not everything has to be pushed. Sometimes the best nudge is a quiet one they choose to check. 3. Reinforce effort, not just output. Sometimes the perfect message for someone moving slowly is "still there?" That counts. 4. Build space for silence. Absence of feedback can be powerful when it's part of a rhythm, not a system failure, of course. This week, I want you to look at your feedback system and ask yourself, are you blasting the same messages at every speed? Are you assuming momentum where there isn't any? Or missing a rallying cry when someone's ready to sprint? Remember, it's not what you said, it's when the user heard it, and how fast they were moving when it hit. Thank you for listening to Physics of Gamification, a podcast with no studio budget but a pile of provable, practical ideas. If this episode made you rethink how feedback timing distorts user perception, share it with someone who designs gamification systems, sends nudges, or just loves a clever metaphor. I'm Hakan Uzer, and next time we'll talk about Schrödinger's user. Because until you engage with them, your users are simultaneously committed and drifting, measured and missing. It's not a paradox, it's design waiting to happen. Until then, stay in the flow.